Hello, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. It's 9 a.m. on Tuesday, October 24th. Hope everybody's day is off and doing fantastic. So let's see, quick housekeeping before we kick it off. The Rogue Invitational is this week. So I will be out there at the Rogue Invitational. For anybody who saw the post that the Rogue made, they're doing for the first time ever. Of course, it's Rogue, right? So it's big. Just a huge premium content kind of a deal. So I'm going to be hosting that show production for them over the whole competition. And I'm going to have a ton of really cool, interesting people flowing through as guests, from CrossFitters to world's strongest men to coaches to everything in between. So I'm going to get to have some really cool conversations with a lot of interesting people, and that's going to be a blast. So hopefully you can either enjoy the broadcast, or I know there's a bunch of Linchpin people going on site, so I will see you there. Other piece of housekeeping, Claudette, CW CrossFit, check your email. Okay, one quick success story, and then we will dive into the topic for today. And this was something I screenshotted in the private Facebook group from Melanie C. And she says, I know that we all know that Linchpin works. It's crazy effective programming, but yesterday I was pretty shocked by just how effective it is. I've posted before that I've been having some past health struggles. Happy to say I've finally got some answers. So imagine my surprise. After 2 years of being frustrated by my lack of strength and energy, I managed to come within 10 pounds of my all-time lifetime squat PR. That's after 2 years, no dedicated squat cycle, no extra work outside of the Linchpin accessory work when I had the energy for it. Just a little over a year of doing what's effective when I could. Huge thanks to the programming. So very cool. You know, we do what works, right? So to be able to come within 10 pounds of your lifetime squat PR after a couple of years of just doing what you can, dealing with some health struggles, that's pretty awesome. So congrats, Melanie, and also glad that you found some answers for the health struggles. All right, so let's chat. The topic for today is a minimalist strength and conditioning program. And I'm going to try very hard not to get on my soapbox, right? But I just feel like, for whatever reason, a lot of CrossFitters or the community to some degree has lost its way. And maybe lost its way is not the right way to say it, but I think what people have in their mind as to the bare minimum that they need to make something happen is totally outlandish and crazy and inappropriate. You know, the essence of CrossFit was the counterculture to the huge 5,000 square foot, 10,000 square foot, 15,000 square foot, mega facilities, walled with mirrors, fancy, shiny, selectorized equipment, machines everywhere. Tons and tons of people had memberships, but not a lot of people went there. Like that's not. But people weren't getting just beastly fit. And so Greg Glassman wrote an article in September of 2002, long time ago, what's that, 21 years ago, entitled The Garage Gym. Awesome, absolutely awesome article. I encourage everyone to read it. CrossFit Journal article, again from September 2002, The Garage Gym. Because believe it or not, the origins of CrossFit were not in the affiliate model. That's not what CrossFit was intended to be originally. The affiliate model sprang up out of it, but that's not the original intent. The original intent was this garage gym model, where with a minimum amount of gear, some knowledge between your ears, you can become like a world-class athlete in your garage. And these huge gyms with all the fancy gear are lying to you that you don't need that. And that was the origin. So if we want to have some fun and just see how this holds up from 2002 to right now, on the front page of the article, Greg wrote 10 steps to getting kicked out of your gym, assuming that you're going to a regular commercial gym back in the day, like Gold's Gym or whatever that I lifted in when I was in high school. So these are Greg Glassman's How to Get Kicked Out of Your Gym in 10 Days or Less. Day 1, bring your own music using a boombox and turn it up to inspirational levels and start working out. AC/DC's Thunderstruck should do the trick. On day 2, set up a circuit. one like the typical CrossFit workout of the day, and put a sign up at each station advertising others that this equipment is reserved for accurate timing of your workouts. Number 3, day 3, while practicing the Olympic lifts, drop a max load from overhead. This might do it right there. Day number 4, find a 20-inch platform and perform box jumps. Try 3 sets of 2 minutes of max jumps. Bizarrely, this one irks the you-know-what out of most gym management. Day number 5, take a pair of dumbbells out into the parking lot to do walking lunges. You will be accused of theft. Day number 6, bring several powerlifting buddies to do some super heavy deadlifts. Don't forget to grunt, scream, and use lots of chalk. Day number 7, if the gym has support poles, climb them. If not, find something to climb. Sling a rope over a beam or rafters, attach some climbing holds to the walls and use them. You won't get to the climbing part if you need to attach anything. You may get stopped at the door coming in with a 25-foot coil of rope. Day number 8, work out with your shirt off. If you don't get a reaction, have your significant other take theirs off. Day number 9, walk on your hands or do handstand push-ups or basically any other gymnastic stuff. And day 10, if you've gotten this far, record your efforts by writing them on the wall. Now, of course, a little comedy there, having fun, a little jocularity. But what's also interesting is in 2002, when that was written, that was like, you would have got kicked out immediately. It's funny to see how much the landscape of fitness has changed, where there are so many commercial facilities that realized we have to cater to these crazy lunatics or we're going to lose business and go out of business. So even at like LA Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness, there's a lot of those places now that you can pull heavy deads or do box jumps, or you will find bumper plates and you do Olympic lifts. So it's funny how this has changed. But back then, that would have been a surefire recipe to get kicked out. But anyway, read this article. It's great, and it's about you becoming a world-class athlete in your garage and cutting out the nonsense, and anything which is not mission critical, you remove. You get rid of it, and you're left with the essential items, and that remains what we do at Linchpin to this day. So when I say that Linchpin is a minimalist strength and conditioning program, which it is, that's my goal every time I write a workout, that if I removed anything else from the workout, it would have lost some of its potency. So everything that you're left with needs to be there because it delivers some of the goods. So we are a minimalist strength and conditioning program. Minimalist regarding the equipment needed. Minimalist regarding the movement selection, meaning that we use movements that have a lot of transference to other things, a lot of bang for your buck, a lot of compound movements, a lot of high power output movements. We are a minimalist program regarding the time required to get you really fit. A lot of times you can be in and out in 30 minutes if you don't mess around. Yep, you'd love to have more time than that for a heavy day for sure, but a lot of times you can be in and out in 30 minutes. And yeah, no nonsense, no fluff. So those are why we're a minimalist strength and conditioning program. We are we're in the maximum side of the house with regards to the level of fitness that delivers. That minimalist strength and conditioning recipe delivers a maximum dose of fitness with a shockingly broad range of capacity. That's what we have going on. Now, like I said before, I think some CrossFitters these days have lost their ways. Not to go way back, but when I first got into this back in 2005, there wasn't a lot of fancy CrossFit gear out there, so most of us just showed up every day to work out in board shorts because we didn't have these microfiber, wicking, athletic cut, whatever it was. It was just board shorts and Chuck Taylors. There wasn't any fancy CrossFit shoes or whatnot, and we just somehow got really, really fit with that, and nobody knew about knee sleeves or wrist straps, or we may or may not have had chalk, and somebody passed around the one lifting belt that they had or whatever it was, and the barbell wasn't that great. It didn't really spin that well, and most people had steel plates and not bumper plates, and so we had to control the barbells, and we had to build our own box because there wasn't boxes there, and everyone got really, really fit. Nothing has changed from that because everyone got really fit because of the movement selection intensity, intelligent programming, the whole 9 yards that I said is what's involved with a minimalist strength and conditioning program. But now, and don't get me wrong, I've got a lot of stuff in my garage, if we're being honest with each other, that I've accumulated over the years, and I'm sure if you walked around, you'd be like, so Pat, do you really need that? No, probably not. Fair, busted, right? But I also realized that I could remove a lot of that stuff and it wouldn't negatively impact my daily fitness. It's just over the course of the years, I've been lucky enough to accumulate some niceties that maybe aren't mission critical, but they're fun to use. I use them every now and then, and that's great. So I'm not saying that if you have the means and the room and all that, and you can get more gear and it's fun, get it, for sure. But if you don't have the ability to do that, don't see that as an impediment to you becoming a ferocious animal of fitness. You do not need a lot of space, you do not need a lot of gear, and you do not need a lot of time. That's the whole point of this. Everyone these days, I shouldn't say everyone, but it looks really cool when you see somebody on Instagram with something like a bamboo bar on their back, and they've got chains or bands attached to it, and they're just doing some wild thing that you haven't done. You're like, that's why that person's stronger than me. Look at that crazy bar and crazy setup. I've just got my boring bar and squat stands in the garage. I'm never going to make any improvement. Nonsense, lies, social media bullcrap. Don't let it get into your head. Total nonsense. That fringe sort of niceties, fringe gear, fringe training, fringe whatever, that doesn't move the needle the overwhelming majority of where it needs to go. It's doing the basics and doing them really well, following a good program, getting enough sleep, feeding your body good nutrients. That's what's going to get you 95% to the finish line. Now, there's a difference between need and want, right? So everything that I'm talking about right now is what you need to do. Minimalist strength and conditioning, minimalist gear, minimalist time. Luckily, most of us are blessed that we live in a world that we don't have to just do what we need. We can do what we want every now and then. So maybe you want a bit more gear. You want a bit more training. You want a bit more whatever. That's your prerogative, and you're totally good to go doing that. But all I'm saying is, don't feel that you need to do that, because with that minimal gear, minimal time, minimal everything, following Linchpin programming and not even doing anything else, we have people following our daily workout, doing nothing else, doing half marathons, doing full marathons, back squatting 400 pounds, 500 pounds, showing up to Special Forces selection and making it through Special Forces selection. So the point is, what are you going to face in daily life that isn't going to be covered by squatting north of 400 pounds, doing a half or a full marathon, and having the capacity to make it through Special Forces selection? You're going to be just fine. So that's neat. Want to do more? Because, I don't know, you love the barbell and you just want to do more Olympic lifting. It makes you happy. That is your freedom. Go ahead and do it. Love to power lift? Go ahead and do it. Love the strongman stuff? Go ahead and do it. You love to run. You want to add in some extra running? Feel free to do it. CrossFit Linchpin, the Linchpin programming is like the foundation of your house. In and of itself, it's a strong foundation from which you will need nothing else. But if you want to build something upon it because it just brings you joy, you can absolutely build something upon it to bring yourself joy. You're totally good to go. And if you are interested in some of that stuff, check out the Varied Not Random's got some cool squat dead programs and all that stuff, so you can check that out. It'll upload to your BTWB calendar and you'll be awesome. But with regards to the minimum amount of equipment that you need, if you've got the corner of your garage, corner of your apartment, you can lean a barbell up in the corner, you've got a small stack of bumper plates, you can be good. I mean, here's the bare minimum, that if you had this, these are one of two options. You're set. You can't say that you don't have enough equipment to get astonishingly fit. First of all, you can get fit with just your body weight and no gear, following gymnastics protocols. But now if we can say we can have some gear, if you have a barbell, bumper plates, some collars, and a pull-up bar. Barbell, bumpers, pull-up bar. That's it. And the barbell's leaning up in the corner. You don't have squat stands. That's literally all you have. You will be an animal. So I went onto Rogue this morning to check out like how much is a bar and a set of bumpers. So they've got a set that you can get. It's $1,030. I understand that's a lot of money. I do. $1,030, and that comes with an Ohio bar, collars, and 320 pounds of weight. So you get a really nice Olympic lifting bar, a set of collars, and 320 pounds of weight for about $1,000. And then if you get a pull-up bar to mount to the wall, that's $150. So for right around $1,200, you've got a barbell, a bumpers, and pull-up bar. And maybe you need to, save up for that. Maybe you can go to Facebook Marketplace and find something used. That's a brand new ship to your door sort of price right there. But with that, you are good. 320 pounds of weight. For most people, they're not going to need anything more than that. And if you're just at that place in your life, financially speaking, that you can't get a set of squat stands, I didn't have squat stands when I first started out either. I had to learn how to clean. And then when I got something into my atrocious front rack, every squat day was a front squat day. And that's still going to make you really, really fit. And if your clean isn't where it needs to be, and so once you get it to the front rack, you're like, well, I cleaned it up here, but it's not heavy enough for me to do a 1 rep. That's okay. Do sets of 3. Do sets of 5. Do sets of 7. If every time you cleaned it, you became really good at doing sets of 10 front squat, you would not be unfit, I'm here to tell you. You'd be a beast. And, if you've got a bigger deadlift than 320 pounds, can't go for a 1 rep, you play that same game. Then your life is going to be 5s. Your life is going to be 7s. Your life is going to be whatever it is. But you're going to be able to get really strong and fit. And then when your budget allows, you get another set of plates. Maybe that's a little bit outrageous. The $150 for a pull-up bar, you're like, that's cool, but I can't spend $1,000 on barbell and bumpers. Again, try to find something on Facebook Marketplace or something. You can buy yourself 1 pair of dumbbells. Again, I looked on Rogue for 1 pair of 50-pound dumbbells. It's $175 for dumbbells for 1 pair. So that with the pull-up bar puts you at about $325. Brand new gear. Again, find it used somewhere else, but that's significantly cheaper than the other. And if you only had a pull-up bar, and you only had a pair of dumbbells, and you had a good community, good knowledge, you knew what you were doing, you would once again be a strong, fit animal. Absolutely no questions about it. And then when your time, your life, your budget allowed it, maybe you add to that gear selection. And you can also I looked up how much a band is. So you can get, a band to help you out with the pull-ups for $15. So you get yourself a pull-up bar, you get yourself a pair of dumbbells, and you get a band. That's it. Talk about not taking up much room in your garage or whatnot. The pull-up bar is bolted to the wall. You have 2 dumbbells sitting in the corner, and there's a band hanging from the pull-up bar. That's it. You follow the dumbbell workout every day, you're good to go. You want a box? Build a box. Go down to Home Depot, go down to your hardware store. There are plans online just to build a simple box that's 20 inches on one side, 24 inches on the other side. You get some screws, you get a saw, you build a box. That's what me and all my friends did as well. It was dirt cheap, lasted for years and years and years. Don't have a bike, don't have a rower? Absolutely irrelevant. You're going to get out, you're going to get really good at running. And you're going to run all year long. Obviously, don't want you to fall on the ice. I understand that. I grew up in Massachusetts training for the military. I ran 12 months out of the year, so trust me, I understand what I'm saying. Be careful, use common sense and all those stupid disclaimers. But my point is, if you don't have the opportunity, financially, space-wise, or whatever, to get a bike or a rower, you have planet Earth, and you can get out there and run. And whatever it was going to be on a bike or a rower, you can replicate that stimulus, time domain, effort level, whatever to the best of your ability with your feet, and you'll be absolutely good to go. And if something changes in the future and you're allowed to get that piece of gear, then you'll be super appreciative for it. But I just want people not to lose sight. What this methodology started as actually still holds true to this day. The garage gym revolution. You don't need a big fancy space with all kinds of gear. You need a small selection of gear, a small amount of space to store it, and some darn good programming. And if you apply yourself, things will go really well. So, that's it. Off my soapbox. Enjoy, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk later.